Good afternoon. As many of you know, back in March, I asked everyone in the community to begin a conversation about how we could be a stronger St. Louis. I'm not now, and I wasn't back then, endorsing any specific idea. But I do want to have a conversation about what's important to our residents and how we can shape our future in St. Louis. A future that means a stronger region, a way that we can continue to deliver robust, first-class services, and to remove any barriers that prevents us from being a marquee region in our country. Now, people have asked me about the budget challenges, especially after the County Council budget cuts, and how we could address those in a way that makes our community stronger. And that's what we've been discussing. Every time I'm at an event, I get asked by our residents, I get asked by our business leaders, and they see what's happening in St. Louis, in the city, and in the county. Without any new revenue, the cost of providing our core services is becoming more expensive. Everything costs more, and it's threatening the ability of the county to maintain its essential services. State and federal funds that were once available to help us fill budget caps with one-time funds are no longer available. So how do the city and the county sustain themselves, their core services? How does the region continue to grow and keep from slipping down the list of large metropolitan regions in the country? City and county residents don't want to see a reduction in services. And tax increases for new revenue can be a hard sell, especially with what's going on in Washington, D.C., what's going on around the world with the whole war with Iran, and the subsequent affordability crisis. But there's another path forward if one-time funds and new revenue is not available. Consolidation of services, cooperative agreements could bring significant efficiencies to allow us to continue to deliver core government services with the same tax structure. Now, St. Louis City and St. Louis County, we have a lot of cooperative agreements, we have a lot of consolidated services. This saves us a great deal of money. Some of these services include the Metro Light Rail System, the bus service, the Zoo Museum District, Great Rivers Greenway, the Metropolitan Sewer District, and even the police helicopter service. The county also provides a menu of services for municipalities in St. Louis County to help them. Police services, inspection services, permitting services are just three examples. Now, my office put together a what does a stronger St. Louis County look like? A web service, a web page. And 650 people have filled out surveys there. Surveys that suggest ways that we could be stronger, that we could provide efficiencies, we could combine services. And the consensus so far is first and foremost that change should be small. Here are some of the suggestions. We could combine road maintenance and snow removal service. We could combine purchasing and procurement, especially for fuel, vehicles, software, large equipment. We could combine emergency operations, such as 911 dispatch. St. Louis County has 87 municipalities. Some of the municipalities could come together. Now, this would require a vote of everyone in those involved municipalities. We could combine public health services, like restaurant inspections, disease tracking, and one of the most frequent suggestions is to combine some of our police agencies. There are 54 police departments in St. Louis County, in addition to the police department in the city of St. Louis. We could combine the recorder of deeds operations and our vital records functions. We could merge the court systems in the city of St. Louis and in St. Louis County. And of course, we could consolidate the city and the county library services. Among these suggestions, residents say change should be incremental to allow for time to build trust. Any duplication of services increases efficiency and provides us a chance to save significant money. I'm heartened by our responses. I'm heartened by the engagement of our residents. They want to be a part of this conversation. They want us to be a robust region and to continue to have this conversation on how we can make things better in St. Louis. These conversations are necessary, and I'm glad that I was able to get it started. And people often ask me, why now? Why are you talking about this now? Well, it's true that I have 8 months left in office as county executive, and I really don't have anything to gain from this conversation, but I think it's important that we get started. I won't be county executive. We'll have a new county executive when a lot of these ideas are further studied and when some of them are eventually implemented. But I believe St. Louis County is a great community, and I think we can do better. We have to continuously look at ways to deliver services better, what's obsolete, what's redundant, what can we do more efficiently and effectively. And one thing I know for sure, we can't cut the core services in St. Louis County. That's not a long-term solution. That doesn't move us forward. That sets us back. And the county council budget cuts and service reductions have been widely reported. Cutting departments across the board, that's short-sighted. It's not a long-term solution. It's not the road to sustainability. Now, recently the county council has made some movement towards restoring those budget cuts. I think that's a very good thing. We've also identified some more mistakes in the county council's budget, and we're working with them to correct those mistakes, hopefully to avoid any further service reductions. Now, I'm not saying we're at a crisis, but this is definitely a tipping point. So I want to thank everyone who's weighed in, everyone who has suggestions on how to deliver services more efficiently, how to work together to make St. Louis a stronger region. If you're listening, I hope you'll make a comment. If you haven't filled out a survey yet, go to our webpage, stlewiscountymo.gov, and click on how can we be a stronger St. Louis. Click on that button and leave your suggestions. We're not just collecting your ideas, we are seriously looking at ways to implement them, and these conversations will continue. I've spoken to Mayor Kara Spencer about some of these ideas, and we have agreed to continue our conversations, and we will do so. Thanks, and I would be glad to answer any questions.
It seems like it's going to honestly come down to more of a political thing, because there's certain people that have their little, let's call it fiefdoms, and are not going to want to give up that power. That seems like one of the first things that's got to be tackled before you talk about the libraries and all that other stuff. You've got to get these, how are we going to consolidate the county administrator's office with the mayor's office and the boards and everything. It's going to be a tough sell.
So the question is, and the observation is, that this is a political question. And everything we do in government has a political footprint. It's fundamental what we do. Politics is the division of resources among people who want them and need them. And we are talking about dividing scarce resources. We have limited revenue, and we have services that people expect to receive. In St. Louis County, historically, they receive first-class services, and we're running short on money. So we have to look at ways to deliver those services. I believe that the community will engage in these conversations because they have a choice to make. Cut core services, which nobody wants. Find new sources of revenue, which people are seriously considering. Or consolidate the way we deliver these services and save money. And faced with the choice of cutting services, or finding new revenue, or consolidating services and delivering them more efficiently, I think people are going to move and they're going to find a path forward, and we're going to talk about that. It's a very difficult conversation when you're talking about change, but it's time to talk about delivering services more efficiently and effectively in St. Louis, and that's what we're going to do.
Are you talking about, when you're talking about being more efficient, are you talking about layoffs, or because you're buying more library books, you can get them at a better deal, or what exactly are we talking about as far as, is it cutting staff?
So what does efficiency look like? We hope to be able to deliver the same quality of service, however you interact with St. Louis County when you call 911 and get a police car to come, when you interact with the public health department to get your restaurant inspected, or to get a vaccination, or to get to see a doctor. If you're interacting with our public works department to get your road fixed or a pothole filled, if you're interacting with our Department of Revenue to get vital records, we want you to continue to get great services. We can't buy those services for the same cost that we've been able to buy them in the past. Everything we buy goes up, salaries are going up. We have to find a more efficient way to deliver those services. Every service line will look at this differently. How libraries deliver their services, the city and the county library can look together and say, how can we do this more efficiently? What can we combine? How can we end duplication of services? They don't even buy a lot of books anymore. They buy some books, and they have a great reservoir of books. A lot of their services are online. And a lot of the services that we receive at the library are social services. They aren't reading a book. Libraries are a great source for a lot of things. But every service line that we provide, whether it's the library, whether it's public safety, whether it's by state, everything we look at, we're going to have to look at more closely, and there will be a work group on each one of those service lines.
So, if nothing else, tell me about what's the cost of fuel doing to you right now?
The cost of fuel is killing us in government. Our police cars need fuel, our public works cars need fuel, our people in the health department running around inspecting restaurants and pools and spraying for mosquitoes, they use fuel. Government uses fuel, and it's killing us. Our bi-state uses fuel, and it hurts us as much as it hurts everybody else. We cannot continue to deliver the same level of services with the same amount of revenue without either cutting services, getting new revenue, or consolidating the way we do things. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.